Debugging code is a fantastic way to get a deeper understanding of any code base. In this video, we'll see how to debug Ruby on Rails source code. We'll put breakpoints in the code to pause the control flow, inspect the variables, step inside the method, and finally continue the execution. After watching this video, you should be able to debug any Ruby or Rails application. For debugging, we'll use two gems, pry and pry-debugger. Now, as a Ruby developer, you must have used IRB, which stands for Interactive Ruby. You just type IRB and that puts you in an interactive console where you can execute any valid Ruby code. Now, pry offers similar features. In the terminal, typing pry puts you in the interactive console, similar to IRB, and in here you can run any Ruby command. So let's print hello world, and it prints hello world. You can also run any Ruby expressions and so on. For a full list of features, check out the pry official documentation. And for now, I'll just show you a few things you can do here. So let's create a simple class. Let's instantiate that class. Now, typing ls shows you all the methods we have in the context right now. So you can see my instance variable Akshay. It's here, and I can call methods on it like akshay.name, and that gives me the name of that instance variable. You can also navigate inside that object. So typing cd with the name of the object takes you inside that object, and you can change the value changed from main. You can see the value changed from main to person. If I type ls again, I can see the methods and the instance variable it has, and you can see it has that instance variable which I can inspect. To get out of this object, type cd ... and now we are back in main. To get out of the interactive console, type exit. So that's some neat things that pry can do. Now you can also use pry for debugging Ruby code. So let's try to do that. Here I have a simple Ruby script that has a simple class that adds two numbers, and you'll notice a binding.pry statement here. Now, if you're coming from .NET world or have used Visual Studio, it's similar to putting breakpoint in the sidebar. So when you run this Ruby script, pry will pause the execution at this point, and you can see the local values. I've also required the two gems here. So let's run that script. And you can see pry has paused execution here. So to go to the next statement, type next. Now we are at this location, and here we can type ls to see the local values. You can see I have my box instance here, and if I want to go inside this add method, which is called stepping into the method, called type step, and that will take you inside the add method. Here we can inspect the values of a and b. Type next to go to line 7, and if now we have sum initialized, if you type sum, that will give you the result 7. To get out of the method, type up. Now we're back in the original method, and now if you want to continue the execution, type continue, and we are out of that script. So that's how you use pry to debug a simple Ruby script. Now let's try to debug the Rails code base. So we are in the source. Here I have the base test file, which is in the controller directory in the action pack module. And I would like to debug the test controller path method to see what this controller path method does. So let's go to Rails directory. And we'll run that test. To see how to run the tests, check out the previous video in this series. So I'll run this command to run that particular test. And you can notice I have put a breakpoint here. So let's run the test. And we have halted the execution here. Now let's see what the controller path method does. So we'll type step to go inside the controller path, and here we can inspect the values of the local variables. So let's see. Pry also provides autocomplete. So if I type the name and hit tab, it will automatically complete the name of the variable. So type controller path, which is empty. Now we can also check what's the value of this name variable here, and it's empty controller. If you want to see what's the result of this expression here, you can paste that here. It returns empty. So that tells us that delete suffix controller strips out the controller part from this string and returns the empty value. And after that, the underscore method just converts it to lowercase. And let's get out of this method by typing up. Now, if there is too much output on the screen, you may type Command K. That clears the terminal. Now you might be wondering, how do I check where I was without typing step or next? So pry provides a handy trick. Just type @ and that shows you where you are in the debugging cycle. You can also type where am I, and that does the same thing. Alright, so now that we know that controller path has stripped the controller value and converted the rest of the string to lowercase, and that matches this assertion here. So let's type next, and we can go through the tests or just type continue to get out of this method, and we can see all the assertions have passed and this test passed. And we have successfully debugged this Ruby method. Alright, so that's how you debug Rails. In the next video, we'll run and debug the tests to understand more complicated Rails code. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit like and subscribe. If you have any feedback, please leave a comment. I look forward to your feedback. Thank you.